I heard my father say it from the doorway. He didn't know I was still in the hallway. He was on the phone with someone. His brother, I think. Though it didn't matter who. She made her choice, he said. I made mine. Doors open when she's ready to show some respect. His voice was level. Almost cheerful. The way someone sounds when they've already moved on. My name is Rachel Caldwell. I'm 23 years old, and the last time my father said my name to someone else, I was taking notes. This is that story. I want to go back 2 years, because that is where the story actually starts. Not with the folder, not with the spiral-bound copies, not with the Thursday afternoon in the lobby on Commerce Drive. It starts with a pull-out couch and a laptop, and a Facebook post I was never supposed to find. My father is Gary Caldwell. He is 52 years old. He is the regional manager at a logistics company, which means he manages a team of about 30 people and wears a company polo to work and parks in the surface lot on the east side of the building. He makes $78,000 a year. On weekends, he coaches youth soccer. He has 847 Facebook friends. He posts frequently. Family barbecues in summer. Sports scores in fall. Motivational quotes every Monday morning without fail. The kind of man who is universally liked by everyone who does not live with him. My mother is Diane Caldwell. She is 49. She works as an administrative assistant at a dental practice. She is organized and careful, and very good at managing the space between what is true and what is comfortable to say out loud. She has been managing that space for as long as I can remember. I was 21 years old, one semester from finishing my business administration degree, when my father decided he had had enough. The argument that ended with him standing in the doorway watching me carry boxes to my car had actually been happening in pieces for about 3 months, ever since I told him I was not going to. Transfer to the community college closer to home and switch to an administrative program he considered more practical. He called my business degree a waste of money and a personality problem. I called it my future. He had the lease in his name and a temper that had been building since September, and on a Wednesday night in the second week of November he made his decision. I had a 3.7 GPA and a partial academic scholarship and a plan I had been building for 2 years. I had a senior thesis in progress that my advisor called the strongest marketing project she had seen from an undergraduate in several years. None of that was part of the conversation. What was part of the conversation, or rather, what was said in lieu of a conversation, was this: Gary standing in the doorway in his coaching clothes, arms crossed, watching me pull boxes off shelves. You want to make your own choices? Make them somewhere else. I'm done subsidizing your attitude. You think you're so smart, go be smart on your own dime. I didn't cry. I didn't argue. I moved steadily from room to room, taking what I needed, leaving what I didn't. The last box was the one for my closet, my grandmother's china set, wrapped in newspaper, stored there since she passed 2 years earlier. Gary said I couldn't take it. That stays in this house. He said it the way he said most things, calmly, like the decision had already been made somewhere in a room I hadn't been invited to. I looked at the china on the shelf for a long moment. Then I took out my phone and photographed it. I left it there. As I was putting the last box in my car, Gary said, "Don't come back here until you're ready to show some respect." He went inside before I pulled out of the driveway. I don't know if he watched from a window. I didn't look back to check. My roommate's name was Jess. She had a 2-bedroom apartment 20 minutes from campus, and a pull-out couch in the living room and the kind of steady, uncomplicated kindness that I still think about sometimes when I'm trying to understand what it means to actually show up for someone. She said I could stay as long as I needed. I stayed 7 months. I worked double shifts at a coffee shop 3 days a week. I studied at the counter between customers and at the pull-out couch at night with my laptop open and the apartment quiet. I did not fall behind. I did not defer my final semester. I did not apply for a leave of absence or reconsider my degree or call my father to negotiate. I just kept going. 22 hours after Gary stood in that doorway and watched me carry my things to my car, he posted on Facebook. I found it at 11:17 in the evening, sitting on Jess's pull-out couch with my laptop open, studying for a midterm, A photo of Gary on the back porch, his yard behind him, a beer in his hand. The house quiet and peaceful and entirely his. The caption read, "Sometimes you have to make the hard calls. Feeling at peace tonight." Number family. Number boundaries. Number growth. Posted at 8:34 p.m. 47 people liked it within the first hour. Comments included, "Good for you, Gary. You always put family first." And, "Stay strong, brother." And, "A man who knows his own mind." 3 of the 47 likes were from my aunts. One was from my cousin Tyler, who had texted me that same afternoon to say he was sorry. I read the post 3 times. Then I opened a new folder on my desktop. I named it simply Evidence. I did not call Gary. I did not comment on the post. I did not post anything of my own. I closed the laptop and finished my chapter and went to sleep. The coffee shop opened at 6. 3 weeks after the kickout, Gary posted a photo of my childhood bedroom. It had been redecorated as a home gym, new equipment, a motivational poster on the wall. A yoga mat rolled out on the floor where my bed used to be. Caption: "Productive weekend. New chapter, new space. Feeling motivated." 63 likes. I screenshot it. I added it to the folder. 6 months after the kickout, my cousin Tyler mentioned to me that he had heard Gary talking about what happened. The version Gary was telling family members, at dinners, at soccer banquets, and casual conversations over the phone, was one in which Rachel had decided to move out, in which there had been a mutual disagreement, in which Rachel was, in Gary's words, finding herself. This version did not include the doorway speech. It did not include the Facebook post. It did not include the home gym. It did not include the grandmother's china still sitting on the shelf. It did not include the 7 months on a pullout couch. I asked Tyler to write down what Gary had said, as specifically as he could remember, and text it to me. He did. I screenshot the text. I added it to the folder with a date and a timestamp. The folder was becoming something. I didn't have a name for what it was yet. Not a legal document, not a letter, not a post. Just a record of what actually happened, held alongside a record of what Gary was telling people had happened, page by page, date by date, growing quietly in a desktop folder while I worked double shifts and kept my GPA and finished my degree. I graduated in May. 3.7 GPA, a departmental award for the marketing campaign I had designed as my senior thesis. My advisor stood at the podium and used the word exceptional, and I sat in my cap and gown in a row of other graduating seniors and felt something I am still not sure I have a word for. My mother attended the ceremony alone. She sat in the back. She cried. She did not explain to the relatives she spoke to afterward why Gary was not there. Gary did not come. He did not call. He did not text. That evening at 6:15, I posted my graduation photo on Instagram. Cap and gown and diploma in the departmental award. By midnight, it had 340 likes. Gary did not like it. He did not comment. That same evening, he posted a photo of himself at a youth soccer banquet, his team around him, trophies on the table, his hand on the shoulder of a kid who had just scored his first goal of the season. 89 likes. I screenshot both posts side by side, timed exactly. I added them to the folder. 3 months later, I accepted a position as junior marketing coordinator at Ashford Creative, a regional firm that had offered me a role 2 weeks before graduation after seeing my senior thesis campaign. I moved into a 1-bedroom apartment on the 14th of September. I assembled my own furniture. I bought my own groceries. I paid my own rent. I put my grandmother's photograph. Not the china, just the photograph, which I had brought with me from my childhood bedroom the night of the kickout, on the shelf above my desk. If you are still watching this, I want to ask you something. Have you ever been in a situation where someone was rewriting the story of what they did, telling other people a version that made them the reasonable one, the patient one, the one who tried, while you just kept moving forward and saying nothing? If that is your life right now, or if it ever was, drop a comment below. I want to hear from you. And if you haven't subscribed yet, this is the moment. Hit the button. New stories every week. By October, I had been promoted to marketing coordinator, 1 year ahead of the standard timeline at Ashford Creative. My manager sent a company-wide email acknowledging the promotion and citing my work on 3 client campaigns that had outperformed their benchmarks. I printed the email, I added it to the folder. By this point, the folder contained the following: the original Facebook post from 22 hours after the kickout, printed in full color. 34 subsequent posts in which Gary wrote about family values, hard decisions, personal boundaries, and the importance of raising independent children. Tyler's text account of the false narrative Gary had been circulating. The graduation photo comparison, time-stamped. The promotion email. The photograph of my grandmother's china, still on the shelf in Gary's house, taken on my phone the night I walked out. A log of every birthday and graduation Gary had not acknowledged, with dates, with notes, and a 1-page timeline I had written myself, clean, factual, dated, titled simply, "What Actually Happened." 67 pages. I had it printed at a copy shop on a Wednesday afternoon. I had it spiral bound. I ordered 2 copies. Then I put them in my bag and waited. I did not wait long. The following Tuesday morning at 7:43, I opened my phone and found a new post from Gary on Facebook. He was running for a seat on the local school board. The post explained that this was an opportunity to give back to the community and stand up for family values in the schools. There was a photo. Gary in a button-down shirt, smiling the smile he used at soccer banquets. The post had 214 likes within 24 hours. The comments were full of encouragement. Several people tagged their friends. One comment read, "Gary, you are exactly what our school board needs. A real family man." I finished my coffee. I put my phone down on the kitchen counter. I sat with the quiet for a moment. Then I picked up my phone and called my Aunt Brenda. Brenda is Gary's sister. She is 47 years old. She is the only family member who called me the night of the kickout. Not the next day, not a week later, the same night, and said plainly, "What your father did was wrong." She did not insert herself into the situation over the 2 years that followed. She did not call Gary to intervene. She did not send me packages or money or advice. She simply stayed in contact, steady and consistent, without needing to make it a performance. When I called her that Tuesday morning and told her what I was thinking of doing, she listened without interrupting. When I finished, she said, "Tell me when, and I'll be there." I chose a Thursday. 4:45 in the afternoon. I knew from Gary's Facebook check-ins, he tagged his location occasionally, the way people do without thinking about who is reading, that he parked in the surface lot on the east side of the building and crossed through the main lobby at approximately 5 p.m. I wanted to be there before him. I wanted him to come to us, not the other way around. Brenda and I arrived at 3 minutes to 5. The lobby of the logistics company regional office on Commerce Drive was quiet in the way offices are at the end of a business day, people moving toward exits, the particular energy of a room winding down. The receptionist looked up. I told her we were dropping something off for Gary Caldwell and would not need more than 2 minutes. She called up. There was a pause. I counted 23 seconds before Gary told her to send us up. I said we would wait in the lobby. Another pause. Then Gary came down. I watched him cross the lobby in his company polo and his khaki trousers, moving with the slightly uncertain energy of a man who does not know what register this encounter is going to be in. He saw Brenda standing beside me and his expression shifted. Not dramatically, just a small recalibration. The face a person makes when they realize the thing they are walking into is slightly more than they prepared for. Rachel. He looked between us. Is everything okay? I opened my bag. I took out one of the 2 spiral-bound copies and held it out. Gary took it. He looked at the cover. The cover was a single printed page. No title, no decoration. Just the Facebook post from 22 hours after the kickout, printed in full color, full size. His own face. His own back porch. His own beer. His own caption. Sometimes you have to make the hard calls. Feeling at peace tonight. He stared at it. 2 of his colleagues were crossing the lobby toward the exit. They glanced over. Gary turned slightly away from them. I said, "There's 67 pages. I thought you should have a copy before you put your name on a school board ballot." My voice was completely level, not cold, not angry, level. The voice of someone who prepared for this moment the way she prepared for everything, quietly, specifically, without announcing it. The second copy is for Aunt Brenda, in case anyone asks her about it. Gary looked up. His face moved through several things very quickly. "Rachel, this isn't, you don't understand the full—" "I understand completely, Dad. Not a correction. Not a confrontation. Just a fact. I documented everything. The posts, the calls you didn't make, the graduation you didn't come to. What you told people happened versus what actually happened." I let that sit for exactly one breath. It's all in there. The colleagues had passed through the exit. The receptionist was looking at her screen with the focused attention of someone who is very deliberately not looking at us. Brenda stood 2 steps behind me, arms folded, saying absolutely nothing. She did not need to say anything. Her presence was the whole sentence. Gary looked down at the folder in his hands, at his own face on the cover, at the caption he had written the evening after he stood in the doorway and watched his daughter carry her things to her car. He had written that caption. He had posted it. He had tagged it with the word family. And 47 people had liked it within the hour. I picked up my bag. "I hope the campaign goes well, Dad." I turned. Brenda and I walked to the exit. At the door, Brenda turned back once. Gary was still standing in the center of the lobby, the folder in both hands, not moving. We pushed through the glass doors and walked to my car. Brenda got in. I started the engine. She said, "That's it?" I pulled out of the lot. "That's it." She looked at me. "What do you think he'll do?" I kept my eyes on the road. "I think he'll make the right decision." A pause. "And if he doesn't, I still have the original files." 4 days later, Gary posted on Facebook that he was withdrawing from the school board race. The post said, "After reflection, I've decided this isn't the right time for me to pursue this role. Family always comes first." 94 likes. Several comments expressing disappointment. One comment from the person who had called him a real family man, saying, "Your loss, Gary. We need more people like you." I screenshot it. I added it to the folder. Then I closed the folder, put it in the filing cabinet in my bedroom, and did not open it again. That Friday night, Brenda and I had dinner at a restaurant I had discovered 3 months earlier when a client from Ashford Creative had taken the team out to celebrate closing a campaign. It was the kind of place that had cloth napkins and a wine list and a dessert menu that required a separate conversation. I ordered the salmon and the most expensive glass of wine on the menu. Because I was 23 years old and I had a salary and my own apartment and a folder in a filing cabinet that had changed the outcome of a local election and nobody would ever know. Brenda raised her glass. She did not say anything. Neither did I. We didn't need to. My father never called to apologize. Diane texted me 3 weeks after the lobby meeting. Brief, careful, the particular texture of a text written and rewritten several times before sending. She said Gary had been doing a lot of thinking. She said she hoped we could all find a way forward. I responded politely. I always respond politely. I said I hope so too. The grandmother's china is still in Gary's house. I have the photograph of it taken the night I walked out, on page 9 of the folder, time-stamped at 11:41 p.m. on a Wednesday in November of 2023. I am not going to ask for it back. That is not what this was about. What it was about, what it has always been about, is this. My father taught me that the story you tell about yourself matters. He posted it publicly dozens of times in the language of family and values and hard choices to 847 people who believed him because he had given them no reason not to. He was very good at the story he told. He just didn't realize I was taking notes. I am 23. I have an apartment and a promotion and a marketing career I built while working double shifts on a pullout couch. I have a folder in a filing cabinet that I may never need to open again. I have an aunt who showed up without being asked. I have my grandmother's photograph on the shelf above my desk. I don't have the china. I have the photograph of the china, and the record of who left it there, and the knowledge that the story of what actually happened is documented to 67 pages and will not be rewritten, that is enough. That is more than enough. If you are watching this and you know someone who does what my father did, who performs goodness publicly while causing harm privately, who curates a version of events in which they are always reasonable, always patient, always the one who tried, I want you to know something. You do not have to announce what you know. You do not have to post it or send it or use it to destroy anyone. Sometimes it is enough to simply have it, to hold the record, to be the one person in the room who knows exactly what happened and can prove it. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is walk into a lobby on a Thursday afternoon, hand someone their own words, and walk back out. Tell me in the comments, have you ever watched someone rewrite the story of what they did to you, and what did you do about it? I read every single one.